Hi everyone and welcome to another Flosstube video. Today it is Flosstube number 38 and I have a whole bunch of cross stitching. I'm celebrating 1 year here on marika.stitches on YouTube, which is like insane. So there's going to be giveaways. I have some really good news when it comes to like my work life and such. And finally I have a store update. So we are going to jump into all of these things, but first, if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. It warms my heart that you want to spend some time with me. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Marika. I come from Stockholm, Sweden, where I live with my boyfriend and my 2 cats, and this is a channel all about cross stitching. So let's jump into the cross stitching. This is gonna be a longer video, I think, but every time I record it, it's just getting a little bit shorter. Here's the thing, my camera has been acting up. I think I changed something in the autofocus just before I went on vacation, and I've been having all the issues, so hopefully I have fixed it. We'll see, because the video, I've been recording this for 2 days, it wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. Anyhow, let's jump into the stitching. I have 4 finishes and 2, 1 a new start and 1 work in progress. So even though I've been away almost 3 weeks, I haven't gotten a lot of stitching. We have been on vacation for 3 weeks. That is why it hasn't been any videos. That and all of the stress around trying to find a new job, and yeah, there's been a lot of things. I'm going to talk more about those kind of things at the end of the video, but I have gotten a bunch of finishes. So we're going to start off with the finishes, which all of them are Mill Hill kits. So we're gonna start with the one that I finished before we went on vacation. I think I showed you this half complete. This is a cuckoo clock and it is from the winter holiday collection of 2022. So this is how it looks. I really love him. He is adorable. I need to cut him out and back him with felt. I make all of mine into little ornaments. I have a small Christmas tree, so that works with it. However, they do come with a magnet, so you could make it into a magnet. I really like how these are hanging. I'm a little bit worried about what my kitties will do with them, but so far they haven't found them yet. So yeah, cuckoo clock. I love that one. So coming into my vacation, I was still in July and I did Christmas in July, and I really wanted to do a little bit more Christmassy, but I couldn't really decide. So finally I decided I'm gonna do things a little bit ahead and start my Santa for August. If you're new here, hi. I started a hashtag called #MillHillSantaSal2023, where I kind of just want people to stitch Santas or gnomes from Mill Hill with me, because I think they're adorable and I wanted to have a lot of them in my tree. I decided that my own goal would be 12 of them, 1 every month. And they take me about 4 days, so I felt that that made me getting a lot of Santas in my tree without having to kind of take a whole month for it. So I had a list. I think it's on one of my first videos when I talk about the Sal. I do have a list of all of the Santas I chose and in which order. So I have come into the Christmas Day Santas. There are 3 in every Santa collection, and this is the one I decided to do for August. This is a Christmas Day Santa. It's called Christmas Morning Santa, and isn't he adorable? He has this like sleepy shirt. It's just gorgeous. I love his socks, and those little bunny slippers are most adorable. So yeah, this is the Santa. I just loved him. He is from 2023, I think. Anyhow, you can find all the details of everything I talk about in the description down below, and you can also find him over on my store. My store is the Crafty Bit Shop at .etsy.com, but it is linked as usual in the description. So that was the Santa. Now here's the thing, I still had a couple of days left in July, but I was super inspired. Just before I left, I both had the order of the autumn collection of Mill Hill coming in. I put them in the store. I had a bunch of people shopping them, and I just knew I needed to stitch something. As you might also know, my grandpa passed away recently, and when I saw this project, I knew I wanted to stitch it as kind of a memorabilia for him. Probably gonna do more of them, but yeah, this is Hayride. My grandfather was a farmer, so I thought with the red tractor, the little doggy button, and the little barn, I thought it would be a perfect project to do. It took me a lot longer than I was expecting, but it is 5,500 stitches in it, so it's quite a lot of stitches. Also a lot of beading, or it's 5,500 stitches and beads, but it is full coverage and it is gorgeous. I just completely love it. I love it. So that was a project number 3, and when I finished that, because it took me so long, I just needed something quick to finish. That is a way for me to keep going, is to have instant gratification and then the longer gratification. They have different levels, but it helps my dopamine to go. So in my case, I decided to do one of the smaller ornaments. I had picked out 3 that was more fall than kind of Halloween. I wasn't ready to go into Halloween. I'm not sure I'm ready to go into Halloween yet at all, but I picked up this little one. This is Turkey Owl. He is super adorable. I love him. The beads in the feathers really make them pop. Then he has a little jewel in there. He's just adorable. And yeah, I had so much fun stitching him. They take me about a full day of stitching, but usually I finish off a project in the morning. So I finished him off the next morning. I have started to track my project in Notion. In the Stitchery is a template. It's a paid for template. I will link it down below if I remember. Or if I can find the thing, but I think I paid like $10 for it, and it helps me track everything, track the stitches, track the projects. I haven't gotten my old projects in yet, but that is something I'm going to do this week, because next week's video is going to be a whip parade / finish parade. I finished over 55. I think I'm closer to 60 projects this year, so it's gonna be a long one. But I have a funeral on Friday next week, so I thought maybe make that video during the week so that I don't have to kind of bother with it later. So yeah, those were all my finishes. After finishing those, I decided to just take some simple stitching. I've been having some back issues, and all the stress and everything. I just needed comfort stitching. So I did bring my Christmas house with me. So that is what I stitched on the most. So this is Christmas House 1. It is by Artisy Cross Stitch. It has been called Over the Rooftop also because it was charted by another company before. However, I got mine from Artisy Cross Stitch. Artisy is a art licensee company, and they also have a cross stitch section with full coverage cross stitches. I love them. They make beautiful patterns. Also, one of the things with Artisy that I haven't seen with others, they leave one row blank, both vertically and horizontally, so that there's space for the little arrow that measures the middle of the project. So that doesn't go over the pattern. Genius. Genius. Anyhow, this is Christmas House 1. I think this was basically where I left you off, where I finished off here. And most of this I stitched on my vacation in this corner. So basically this part I'm doing horizontal blocks more for fun than anything else. I'm getting stripes in this and it's just gonna be that way. But look at that chimney. Isn't it gorgeous? I love this project. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing parking there for all the threads, but I'm having super fun with this project. It is gorgeous. This fabric is 25 count white Lugana that I have used fishing line to grid. I would recommend just going with the pre-gridded fabric. Just do it. You are going to have to wash your project, and you're gonna have to kind of really go in there and wash it, but do the pre-gridded, because I think that the sewing line is actually, or the fishing line is actually kind of fraying my threads a little bit. So yeah, no, I do recommend going with the pre-gridded. This also took me like 10 hours to grid, so it's not super easy. Anyhow, that was all of the stitching I did on vacation. When I got home, like the last couple of days, I was like, I just want to get home so I can have a new start. I have so many projects I want to start. So yeah, I am going to do a version of Arbitrary August. Basically, I'm gonna stitch on all of the projects that I have bought patterns for during the year, but haven't felt that I have been in the right kind of theme at that month. But there's so many projects that I just want to jump into. I bought a couple of collections of like pattern collections. I have still some from the Pride collection, but there's also another collection I think I showed you a while ago with a whole bunch of more like Halloween-y projects that are awesome. I'm gonna link it down below if I can remember, maybe put a picture here of it, because I think it's only have like a week left to go. It's like a little online magazine that you can get with a whole bunch of patterns, and there's a few patterns in that one that I really want to stitch. However, what I started is a project for the Witchy Stitcher. The Witchy Stitcher has some health issues. She told about it on Instagram, so you can go there if you want to read more. The same people that stood behind is Stitch for Sage have now added the hashtag Stitchy for Witchy. So I thought I would join in because I've been kind of looking at her patterns for a long time, but I just never kind of dipped my toes and finally bought the patterns, jumped in. But I finally did, and the pattern that caught my eyes first was the Poisonous Plants by the Witchy Stitcher, and this is how far I come. This is like 3 days of stitching. I have stitched a lot. The whole is around 5,000 stitches, I think. I'm not sure that the markup RX is showing it properly, but I think it's around 5,000 stitches. Anyhow, this is around 2,000 stitches. So this is where I am so far. I really love how it looks. This is shirted to be on a black Ida or a black fabric. I opted to go with a chestnut. This is a 18 count chestnut and I'm loving it. This is a fall color for me. If you really want that like earthy fall kind of tones, perfect fabric for that. So 18 count chestnut. I did one difference in this, or one change. The text here was charted to be stitched 2/1 with 612. On this fabric, the contrast isn't high enough to get the text to actually show. So what I did is I went down to 1 thread over 1 for the text, and I went up a tone in color, so I'm using 613 instead. But that is all the changes that I've made on this, and yeah, it's looking gorgeous. I'm loving it. So yeah, that is all my stitching. As I said, it wasn't a lot of stitching. It was stitching, but not a lot of stitching. So yeah, I did do some knitting. Before we get into anything else, I do want to show you my knitting. It's not usually any knitting content on this. Might be a little bit more because I've gotten the knitting urge. But this is what I have been working on while in the car, because we've been traveling a lot during our vacation. And these are my socks. Aren't they cute? This is a self-striping yarn, so it's super easy. It's just stitch, stitch, stitch. These are just vanilla socks. I stitched a lot of socks in like 2017, 2018. I am very sensitive to wool, so I basically go for merino wool, which doesn't wear very well. So my socks all kind of break apart. So I need to make some new socks for myself. These are a little bit more sturdy because of the glitter that makes them a little bit more sturdy. So I'm hoping to be able to wear them for many, many years. I will link down below the dyer because I never remember her name. It's a Swedish dyer. She does really gorgeous self-striping yarns. And this is my bag that I made for myself a couple of years ago. I love it. It's super simple. It's I walk and knit, so perfect for that. Just holding my balls of yarn and just knitting on the train or anything. Works great. So that was all of the crafting section. Now we're gonna go into the celebration section, celebrating 1 year. This is episode 38. So because if I had been religiously uploading every week, we would be at week 52. So I am about 10-14 weeks off, but it's okay. Like, it's been vacations, it's been a couple of like sick days and sick weeks. It happens, life happens, so that's just how it is. But I'm super happy to be able to do this for over a year, and hopefully I can do this for many years to come, because this is fun. This is a lot of fun. I hope you think it's fun and you want to join me. But with any celebrations, I need some giveaways. So I have a little pile of giveaways for you. So, rules, very simple. Open International, you have to be over 18. Basically, that's the rules. How do you play? I will tell you a word associated with each and every one of the giveaways. You want to use the word of the giveaways that you want to enter. So you can enter one, you can enter all. There is 4 giveaways today. Just a note, if I draw you for one of the giveaway gifts, you can't win the other ones in the same video. So just to make it possible for more people to win, basically. Put the words down in a comment. Don't use words like giveaway, free, stuff like that, because then the little bots come knocking on the door. The way you find out if you win is I have the video in 2 weeks time. I will announce the winners. It's gonna be your responsibility to contact me through the email that is always linked in my description down below to get the gift. So yes, or the giveaway. So let's start. We start with the small one. The small one is the Autumn Harvest 2023 kit called, you guessed it, Turkey Owl. I thought it was super cute and I really wanted someone else to stitch it too. So if you want to win this full kit, full unopened kit of the Turkey Owl, just use the word Turkey Owl, or words Turkey Owl, in your comment down below. The next one is gonna be a burlap bag. I've had this lying around. It is from American Crafts. I think, yeah, American Crafts, and I don't use it. I never have used it, and I thought, hey, why not give it on to someone else? So this burlap bag, it has a red, white polka dot in the middle, white zipper with just a little like hanging thing on. I even have the little American Craft name tag on it still. So yeah, that is gift number 2, and you use the word pouch. For number 3, I am super in love with chestnut, the 18 count fabric chestnut, and I want other people to use it for their projects just because it is so beautiful. So if you want to win this fat quarter of 18 count Ida, it measures 18 by 21, just use the word chestnut. And then the last package, which is a little bit bigger, it is a full kit, and it is the 4 outfits from Body Threads. So this is a full kit, 4 outfits from Body Threads. You get the fabric, the threads, the pattern, everything you need to finish this off. And to win this, use 4 outfits. So yeah, that was all of the giveaway, and that is all of the crafty content. However, if you want to hear all about the whirlwind of my life, that begins here. So, guys, I got a new job. Finally, I got a new job. I signed the contract like 2 weeks ago, so I've had a little period where I could kind of relax a little bit, just take a little break. It has been awesome. So if you're new here, you haven't heard, I was a little bit unlucky about, I think it's like 14 weeks now or something ago. I was made redundant at the company I had been working for the past 2.5 years. Within a week, I got in contact with an old company I worked for before, and they said, yes, come back, that would be awesome. So I signed with them. I took 7 weeks of vacation. It was glorious. I signed up I came on, I worked a week, and then I was made redundant again. Yeah, it sucked. So I was here needing to figure out, how do I get a new job? Where do I want to work? I've been working 15 years as a software engineer. I'm now at a senior/architect level, and I also have been working for really, really nice companies, which means that I do get a lot of people asking me to work with them. However, this time around, I was like, I have some rules, some salary goals. I'm not just going to take the first best company. I'm really going to figure out what I want to do. However, that also meant taking a lot of phone calls and a lot of meetings, meeting with a lot of companies to try to figure out, is this what I want to do? 90% of all the tips that I got was mostly consultant companies, and even though I talked to them, because sometimes you can find the gem, I wasn't really ready to go the consultancy way. Also because of how the economical situation is, consultancy isn't really a safe way to go at the moment, because consultants are the first one to go from a company when the economy is going bad, and I have seen it in multiple companies, both I have been in and other people I know work in. They are starting to remove the consultants right now. So I really wanted to work at a company. So, but in all of this, there was one company that I sought out. Most of the other things I was lucky to have recruiters to talk to, but I sought one company out that actually sought me out a bunch of years ago, and I wasn't in the position of take a new job at that moment. So I've always felt like I didn't get my chance with them, that I really want to work with them. So I ended up seeking them out. I ended up finding that they had I think 2 jobs that I put in for, and one of them I was contacted about, and after 2.5 weeks of meetings and everything, I am happy to report that I've signed with them. So it's gonna be awesome. It's so strange. I don't mind sharing on social media where I work, but I have a very hard time sharing on YouTube. So seek me out on social media if you want to know where I work, basically. No, I don't know, it's something, but yeah, it's a really, really cool company, and it's gonna be awesome to work for them. So I'm really looking forward to start at the end of August. So yeah, that's that whole story. There's so many other things going on in my life that I'm still not, like, I haven't landed yet. I have the funeral next Friday for my grandfather, so that is going to be quite rough. I need to be going to have some tests for my lupus. So I'm a little bit in my head. I have a lot of migraines that doesn't want to go away, and my back is really not doing what it's supposed to do. But otherwise, I'm in a really good mood. A really, really good mood. So yeah, that's what's happened. I've been on vacation. There's not that much to talk about it. We go to the West Coast most every summer for a couple of weeks. Christopher's parents have a summer vacation house there, and we spend time with them for a couple of weeks. We did put our vacation short this year. We're supposed to be there for 3 weeks. We were there for 2.5 because there was a kind of a rainstorm that came in on the Monday, and it wouldn't let up. We both felt that it's better to just go home and have a couple of extra days before Christopher go back to work here in the apartment. So yeah, it was really good those 2.5 weeks before the rain comes. So the first 2 weeks were actually really nice. I did have some migraine issues, but we traveled around. We went to Norway, to a town called Fredrikstad. They have a section which is the old town, which was beautiful. It was like wooden houses, like 2 to 3 floors, gorgeous houses, gorgeous. I very much love architecture. I very much have no clue about anything about architecture. It's not like I know things like, oh, makes it an 1800s house because of this and this. I have no clue. I just appreciate really beautiful houses. Yeah, I never went down the road of actually figuring out why I appreciate them. I just appreciate them. They're beautiful. So we went around that town and looked a little bit. We went up to a fort and had some sandwiches and just looked out over, I don't know if it was Fredrikstad or if it was another town. It was like, Norway is beautiful. Norway is very similar to where we stay in Sweden because it's just 45 minutes. 45 minutes by car to the Norwegian border, and I think it was like 15 minutes to half an hour up to Fredrikstad. So it wasn't a very long road trip, but it was fun to see something new. We also went kind of more southern parts of the West Coast, just an hour or two south of where we usually stay, and just kind of traveled across the coast to see all of the little coastal houses. Otherwise, we just sat around, chatted, ate good food, and had a great time. So yeah, it was one of those vacations, not super exciting, but very, very needed. And I did get some stitching done, so that was great. So the last part of this video, we're going to talk about my new release. So I thought this would be a section. Every time I do a new release, I will add it at the end. If you're not interested in my store and all of those things, you can always jump out. And with all of that said, we're now jumping into the section that is store update. So I have a Mill Hill extravaganza, all of the winter stitches that was announced about a month and a half, 2 months ago, somewhere there, have recently arrived. They are now up in my store, but I thought I'd go through them so you can see what I have and what kind of choices you can have. So the first we're gonna go through are the Button and Beads winter collection. I also have the winter holiday collection of the small ornaments and the new Santas, which are Australian inspired, which I really love. So the Button and Beads. The first Button and Beads is the winter greens. It has this little button, which is the little bird button. Then you have the little winter greens, has a lot of beads as usually. The button and beads are, I think they're 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. They're meant to sit in a 6 by 6 frame. So something like that. They do have the frames, which out that sells Mill Hill has the frames. I don't carry the frames though. I have other ideas of what I am going to use for my frames. The next one I have, which is my favorite of the whole button and bead collection, and that is the bird feeder. And you see why that is my collection. I love birds. Birds are my favorites. It is gorgeous. I know I'm going to stitch this. It's going to be so much fun. The next one is a Joy. It says Joy to the World. Also very beautiful. I really love the colors of these. These are a little bit muted. They feel a little bit older, like the creams. It's not the bright whites, it's the creams. I love them. It would fit perfectly with my centerpiece that I did a couple of years ago. That is a fabric piece from Dimension. So yeah, I love the colors. Then we have Amaryllis, another beautiful one. They're gorgeous, all of these. We have Christmas greetings, and I love this specifically because it actually has Merry Christmas in Swedish, which is God Jul. And it's like a little scene with the 3 wise men in the middle. So yeah. And the final one of the button and beads is the Village Physician. This has Christmas Village at the top. Didn't look into this, I probably should have, but I think you can get more of these Christmas Village pieces that they come from several ones in a year. This is Village Physician, and I think it's adorable. I love houses. I did tell you that. I love houses. I love architecture, so this is super adorable. So those were all the buttons and bead projects. Now I do have the Santas, and they are called the Down Under Santas. They're adorable. All the Santas are adorable. So to start off with, we have the Kiwi Santa, which is depicted with a bunch of little kiwi birds. Aww. I do like the colors. It's a little bit different from all the colorings from the other ones, but it feels very much down under. And then we have Kangaroo Santa. Look at those cute little kangaroos. We got little Joey over there. Aww, it's so adorable. And then we have the last one, which is Koala Santa, because you have to have a Santa with koalas, and I love them. I love all of these. I am a Santa lover. I love all of the Santas, so I will be stitching all of the Santas. For the last one, I have the Winter Holiday collection. Those are the smaller projects that contains magnets, so that you can make them into magnets if you want to, but you can also make them into hanging ornaments, which I usually do. So they are 6 of them in the collection. You have, or the first one is the gift trio, which is 3 gifts on a pile. Just a pile of 3 gifts, very simple. It is gorgeous though. It is gorgeous. I love Mill kits. They do look more beautiful in real life because you can't really capture in photos that glittery effect. I've tried. I have some projects that I actually have finished. I usually try to add some finished image pieces over on my Etsy so you can see how they look finished. You see the finish on this, but kind of more stylized photos. But that means that I need to stitch all of them, and I haven't really had time. I also need to finish all of the ornaments I have in my pile. Anyhow, this is the fishing penguin. It's not flying, he's fishing. He's fishing up a package. He's adorable, and he's kind of fun. And I drop things as usual. These are all my owns. I also always pick out one of each of the things for myself because I need to open them and show the innards. I take a photo of it, of the innards, to have on my Etsy, and I then just put them to be stitched for the photos that I'm gonna add as I go. This is the Canada Goose, which also again is beautiful. It is a bird, and birds are my favorites. I love birds. We have Holly Believe, which is just the word believe with some holly around it, and I think it's gorgeous. We have also Baking Spirits Bright, not making, Baking Spirits Bright is fun. That one is really, really fun, and it would work really, really good with the baking one from the Spring Bouquet collection. And finally we have the Sweet Sheep, which is super adorable, and this one actually have a little bell on the edge here. So yeah, that is all of the collection, and that is all for this video. If you have reached this far, put a turkey emoji in the comment section so that I know that you have watched all to the end. I've had so much fun recording this. Hopefully the video works, but I think it actually does, because I haven't heard that autofocus thing, being very busy right now. Yeah, shouldn't really mess with your camera when it works good. Yeah, that's my thing. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. It's been a great video. I will see you next week, hopefully with a whip parade slash finished parade for 2023. It's gonna be a long one, but until then, I hope you have a great week of stitching, having some fun, and I will see you next week. Bye!